Welcome to the House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe. So we've got a bit of a different show this week, Shawnee. We've given Adam Jones, Bomb, very big safe hands, responsibility of taking the show forward by having a chat with the Beast, the South African legend himself.
How are you? You keeping all right?
Yeah, I'm keeping well, Adam. Thanks for having me on the show.
When was it? I'm trying to think, when was the last time we saw each other?
I think it probably would have been back in 2010 or at the World Cup, or 2011.
2011, yeah.
In New Zealand, yeah.
I think I saw you outside Walkabout in Cardiff once since then. So, but we'll.
Oh yes,
we move on from that. But you missing it? Missing playing?
I wouldn't say I'm missing it. I think I played rugby for such a long time. Through the kitchen sink at it. So now I'm happy to be where I'm at. In my new ventures. Yeah, just being a fan.
Well, you're looking pretty big. You still training?
I'm still training. Training? I still gym.
Right. Let's do it now. What are you benching?
Jeez, at the moment, probably a week 180.
a week 180. God, I did 175 the other day and thought it was strong as that. Week 180. Right.
Jeez.
So you'll be the strongest in the Springboks when you were there then?
It was probably myself and Eben. Eben also benches quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, I think it was competition between me and him.
Because it's only bench that counts, really, isn't it? No squad. So it's only the bench that counts, So
I think for the front row, the squad is probably more important than the bench, right?
So, obviously, like myself, we enjoy your food. There's a story about Circus in Durban. Pretty well. Eben Etzebeth says it's probably one of the best things he's ever seen, and he's won World Cups and Lions series. So, can we just elaborate a little bit on this story? What happened there?
So it's a funny story. So, way back in my early 20s, I was obviously playing for the Sharks juniors, so I didn't have a great contract. I just had try and get as many free meals as possible because I wasn't paid enough.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So there was this restaurant called Sekis, and they had a competition, and every Thursday night, if you ate a kg steak and 500 grams of chips, and I think a liter cool drink, and an ice cream, and within 45 minutes, then you don't get to pay the bill.
You want it free? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the first time I did it, I did it in 11 minutes.
11 minutes?
11 minutes.
What? That doesn't seem possible.
Exactly. It was like, I promise they had to search my pockets. They thought I was hiding some of the steak and the food in my pockets. But it was, I don't know, I was just hungry, man. I just ate it all up so quick.
And did you go there regularly?
Yeah, so I went every week on a Thursday. Yeah.
I can't believe I've never been there.
I know.
Next time out there, you've got to take me there.
I promise I will take you.
It'll happen. Let's go back to where it started. Where did the Beast come from, first and foremost?
Yeah, so the Beast was a nickname that I was given by my best mate in primary school.
Oh, so it was a long time back.
Long time back, yeah. I was probably 10 years old at the time, and I was quite big, and I was quite aggressive by nature, so I think
I can imagine that. Yeah,
Beast and X-Men came into the picture, and then and it stuck.
Is there a nickname called Panga as well? is that true?
We're not gonna go into that.
We can't go on that. We can't go. Right, okay. Right.
There's children watching.
Oh, it's one of those ones. Right, okay, fine. But you'd be happy with the Beast. I think that's one of the better nicknames out there, to be fair. So yeah. So growing up then, football was soccer your sport?
Yeah, so I played soccer initially when I was in primary school.
Yeah.
It was because of my father. He was an avid soccer fan.
Right,
he supported Manchester United. So, I dreamed of playing for Manchester United one day, and so I was a goalie.
Oh, right, okay. That was my next question. Not a midfield box-to-box player. I
was too big, man. I was just trying to make sure that I cover as much of the goalpost as possible,
Would you have seen that as a path, being a footballer, or did you just find rugby and thought, this is probably more my sport?
I think, exactly that. I think rugby was more suited, to my build.
Yeah, makes sense.
So when rugby was introduced in my school, it was actually quite late when I was 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
So I was actually forced to go and play because I was big.
Yeah.
Then I started, learning the skills, the basics and everything. And then actually fell in love with the game when I went to high school. Yeah.
We were props straight away, because I remember you were back row, were you?
I was a back row.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I remember years ago they used to say you were converted not too long ago, wasn't it? It was
it was like late, my 20s,
That's tough. That'd been hard.
It was quite hard. I
Yeah,
won't lie,
we
it
had
was
the
hard.
scrum straight away. It's like, that's...
Yeah, from the back to the front. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
was,
exactly, yeah. Did you enjoy playing the back row, or did you prefer with the confrontational sort of front row style as well, or would you rather stay in the back row?
I think now it's probably changed. I definitely enjoy the transition, but back then when it was proposed to me, I was not keen at all. I was like, nope, I just want to stick to playing number 8, but the fact of the matter, I wasn't tall enough to jump in the lineouts, and when you look at the Springboks way of play, I was just more suited, for a different position.
That was your first game, wasn't it, against?
Yeah, the one at Loftus.
And Loftus,
was my first game.
What was that like? Nerves?
I think I was very nervous. I won't lie, but I think I was just so excited, to be a part of such a prestigious Springbok team.
Yes.
That it just won the World Cup the previous year. So I was like pinching myself the whole time. So what I remember about that game, I think it went by so quickly. But the good thing is that we won. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember much about that. I think because I was dropped, I didn't really care. I remember Shane Williams had a really good game.
Yeah,
I remember Shane had a great game.
Yeah, he had a great game.
And he was him and Abana, kind of the best wingers in the world at the time. And there was really like a bit of competition there. I think Shane scored a couple of dazzlers there. But
I remember that. Yeah.
What was it like to be part of that Springbok squad to face the Lions in 2009? Nerve-wracking, daunting, or was it just come naturally to you?
I think it was incredible. I think I was 23 years old at the time. So to be a part of something so special as a Lions tour was amazing. And I think that obviously in '97 we had lost to the Lions, so the build up was quite intense. So we knew that this was a huge occasion and we had to bring out our best. So we did a lot of analysis, and Phil was a legend. Still a legend, and I was an England captain, and so for me to play against him, I was just in awe. I was like, like you said about Austin, I was this guy for an autograph kind of thing. But I just knew that this was a big moment where I could possibly make a statement and announce myself on the big stage. So that's how I looked at it, And I think in our trainings, we really ramped it up and trained super hard for that first test match. So I was just glad that it went my way, but I didn't know that there was a certain Adam Jones who was going to contain me, in the next test match.
I was probably going to come on to that a little bit, but there's always a question I wondered about the South African forward pack, because we played the warm-up games, and a lot of you guys didn't play any games, so you were in camp essentially.
Yeah.
So were you battering each other in camp? Because I'm thinking that first scrum, there seemed to be so much emotion in the South African team, and you hit and you sort of deadlifted Vicks out a wee bit. Were you every scrum session? Were you always just like going to hammer tongs at each other? Was it really competitive and aggressive and building up for that one first scrum, or was it kind of like laid back and we just what happens in the day happens in the day?
No, it was tough. It was test match intensity at trainings. Because obviously, we had to simulate that, and you guys were playing, against the provincial side, so we didn't have that, that obviously opportunity. So we had to go, balls to the wall against each other. So trainings were crazy, because nobody was certain of a starting, place. So guys were trying to put their hand up on training. So me and Guthrie used to go at each other, man, properly. We laugh about it now, but we probably wouldn't even talk to each other after trainings because it was so intense. So that's what was that's what the build up was like before that.
And you had to get to that level, I suppose, as you said, yes, because obviously the second test, I came in. And I guess there's another question around analysis. Did you do much analysis on me? I did a fair bit on you. We didn't have a lot to see because you one test, but was there anything you saw about me apart from being a short, fat, curly guy?
I think that was the first thing I saw, that you're pretty short, so I just knew that I was not going to have the liberty.
I'm not that. You're not 6'5", by the way. You're not 6'5". Well, how tall are you?
I'm what? 6'2".
You are not 6'2". You're not 6'2".
I'm 6'2".
I maybe give you 6'1". Maybe give you 6'1".
Yeah, I'm 6'1". I'm joking. I'm just pushing it. But I just knew that with you, you were definitely going to close up my space. So I think I was kind of a bit complacent, after such a great performance in the first test, getting a man of the match performance. it kind of got to my head a bit, I'm like, riding this big wave, crowd is screaming my name. And I was enjoying that a bit. And then obviously I came up against you, then you kind of gave me a wake-up call.
Yeah.
And, it was good, because it actually helped me a lot. And, in that first test match, it was unfortunate that you got injured and you had to be stretched off. But I think, you really like turned it around in a massive way.
It's I always remember that test. I think with the scrum and no line, and I don't know if it was the same for you, but for me, it was if the whole crowd changed. It was like so much anticipation about this scrum, and I was like, I've got to do something half-tight, decent here, so because it just felt so much pressure. So obviously it was a big occasion in my career. And I think playing in, obviously, backies injured me then, so it was, it actually worked out pretty well for me because I got injured and I didn't have to get stuffed by you in the second half.
No, I doubt that. You had the momentum on your side.
So going on from that, then obviously, myself not included, out of the last sort of 12 years you played, who would have been the toughest tight edge you would have played against?
I think Owen Franks, because we played against each other for so long. He almost had a similar career to me. He started at the same time. And then, obviously achieved 100 test matches around about the same time.
Exactly.
So he was probably the guy that always gave me a torrid time, whether I played for the Sharks against the Crusaders or the Boks against the All Blacks. So he was just so consistent. So like you said, obviously, you are in the mix as well.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I'm glad I was in it somewhere. Right. Let's go to the highlight of your career, winning the World Cup. Obviously losing New Zealand in the group stages. What was the sort of vibe on the team like after that? Or do you still think you go on and win it like you did?
I think that was a stumble in the blocks, It was tough to lose that first game against New Zealand because we had targeted that for like 2 years, We spoke about it in context, and Rassie always used to have a presentation before every test match. I think it was when he took over as coach, there was 18 test matches between, the beginning and the World Cup final.
Yeah.
So, he kind of painted the picture saying that this is our finish line. We have to win the World Cup. We have to turn things around, and achieve that goal. So when we got to the World Cup eventually, and losing that first game, it did bring a bit of doubt, But, Rassie was not even, he wasn't even moved, man. He was still believing. He was like, guys, I promise you, we made some areas today that costed us, a few tries, but I tell you, we can turn it around like this. We just need to make a bit of tweaks, in our strategy, in our approach, and we'll turn this around. So having your coach having that belief, it just kind of just rubbed onto the whole team. And then we started the journey from, obviously, it was Namibia next, and then we targeted Italy as a massive game for us.
Yeah.
And then we just built the momentum and we relied on our strengths. So when we got to that final, I guess, everything just came together at the right time.
I came to Quins, and a big part of going Harlequins was that Kyle was there. Kyle Sinclair was there.
Yeah.
So he was the young tight end, needed a bit of work, and Conor O'Shea, the coach at the time, was like, can you come and help him?
Yeah.
And then to see him in the final, to Dan Cole, obviously Kyle went off early, so it would have been a different sort of way you'd have scrummaged against Kyle?
Yep, it would have been different.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of homework on Kyle, and I'd played against him, I think, about 5 or 6 times. And I knew that, he likes to close the gap, like Kyle likes to pre-engage a lot. And I knew that he was going to try to close up my space. So I worked on my bind a lot, I need to make sure that I can push him back, on the bind call and create a gap for myself to get momentum on the hit. So I also looked at his bind, and I thought there was a bit of weaknesses there. So, yeah.
Well, don't say that, because
Sorry, coach.
Come on.
I had to,
It wasn't that way. He was doing pretty well, I thought.
He was, but I just thought that I could target certain areas. So I guess, when he got injured, it was unfortunate, and I think he was playing some amazing rugby. I think I had an interview last week, and I spoke about it, saying he was probably the best tight end in the world, at that stage in the World Cup. And with Dan, Dan is probably a great scrummager when he scrums on his own terms. When he gets the front foot from the hit, and obviously his setup is quite high. He's much higher than Carl.
Yeah, he's a bigger, taller man as well.
Bigger, taller man. So I knew I had a lot more space to play with now.
Yeah, of course.
So all I had to do was just get in, before him, and then not allow him to get comfortable.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
Yeah,
in that final.
You've definitely got a thing for English tight head props, haven't you?
It's just unfortunate, wrong place.
What was it like then to win it?
It was incredible. For a long time I could not put it into words. It was just like, all the emotions just came out. I was crying, I was happy, like it just felt like we came, full circle.
Yeah.
I think especially for myself, having been in the system for so long, I just felt like everything just, came full circle, and it was the perfect moment. And I was just so happy, and the guys felt the same way. And I think we drank too much champagne, going into the night and many nights after.
Who was leading the charge on the champagne afterwards? Who was the main?
The main champagne guy is definitely Andre Paulet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. A back.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
A back.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
100 and probably RG.
Oh yes.
RG Snamen.
Yeah.
So him. It's a competition between Andre and
Really?
RG.
Oh, fair play. So Prince Harry came in. Was he a little bit? Was he down? Was he? Did he congratulate you guys, but secretly really gutted England lost, or was he okay?
He was very gracious, and that's what impressed the team. That he came in and he congratulated us, and he meant every word. He spoke about the struggles that South Africa were going through at the time.
Yeah.
That possibly something as big as this, is going to help to just give people hope. So we were just we were like blown away.
Yeah.
Like he greeted everyone like he went around the entire change room, and we shared a moment, and it was amazing.
Oh mate, that's brilliant. I got goose pimples you saying that, to be honest with you. So that was it. Was that going to be it for you then, or did you think, the Lions tour is in 2 years' time? Can I get onto the Lions tour? Can I dig in for 2 more years to play against the Lions again? Or do you think, nah?
Adam, it was it for me. I made the decision before leaving for Japan. I spoke to my wife, I spoke to my mom and dad, and I told myself that this is my last chapter, and I want to make it the biggest. I want to make it the most successful. So that decision was made. Win or lose. So I guess it just motivated me to like push the boundaries.
Yeah. What a way to finish. That's what everyone dreams of, I think, isn't it? Winning the World Cup and. Certainly. I think when you play international rugby and you get these sort of situations, that's something. What a way to go out! That would have been so good.
We'll hear more from Bom and the Beast a little later on. So, time for some rugby news this week. Shawnee, Rassie Erasmus has had his ban. Thoughts on that?
Something needed to happen, and he's been given his ban. I think referees are under enough pressure already without publicly going after him. So whatever about doing that review behind closed doors, that's probably the right channels to do it. So they probably set an example now for other coaches and anyone that wants to criticise referees publicly. That's not acceptable.
I think for me, one, it's taken too long, 4 months to come to a verdict. Players get bans sorted out within 4 days pretty much. So for me, that's been dragged out. My biggest gripe with it, though, is as much as every South African you speak to thinks he's a hero and a legend and, should be their president of their country, there's no doubt he's a fantastic coach. He's done wonderful things for Africa. They've won the World Cup. But you can't go on a rant so publicly, because it's not so much that his rant, whether right or wrong, some of the points, refs make bad calls, they know that. It's not so much I mind that. I'd rather he did it behind closed doors. But what it opened up was then hundreds of thousands of South African fans who are abusing and going after Nick Berry and his family. And you just can't have that. We want to encourage people to be referees. Yes, they make mistakes. But by opening up like that, he's just got a mountain of abuse that him and his family don't need from supporters. Should World Rugby clamp down on sort of coaches as water carriers and water boys coming on with messages? Yeah,
I definitely think that shouldn't be allowed, because
it's happening more and more.
It's happening more and more, yeah. But there should be whatever about a director of rugby or a head coach shouldn't be allowed to do it. Whatever about a forwards coach or a breakdown coach or someone underneath that top guy, because even nowadays some people are using actually players that are within the squad who are quite good players, but mightn't be playing 10 that day, etc. To be on and getting the team through it, which is fine in my eyes, because that's a growing thing for everyone. But a director of rugby or a head coach running water is a bit silly, I think.
Just on that, I actually, on the other side, it doesn't really bother me as a player, because I think that's key. The best teams, like, they're not listening to those.
No, they run themselves.
They work things out themselves. They problem solve
themselves.
Exactly.
I think it needs to stop anyway, regardless. So a DOR or a head coach shouldn't be allowed to do water.
There's been some talk about banning alcohol for Welsh games. Obviously, the weekend we had a 6-year-old who was going to his first game, and then someone was drunk and was sick all over them and ruined their experience. And there was tears. We've had the fan running on to the pitch and stopping Wales from maybe scoring. Personally, I think the great thing about rugby is you can have alcohol there, you can enjoy it. People get boisterous, loud, enjoy it. This is a very small minority.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
It shouldn't be banned, obviously, or any talk about that type of thing. I think the whole match day experience comes with some of that. I think it should be more of a party atmosphere. I think it'll make it more exciting. The fans will be more, I suppose, into it when they're a bit giddier. The only thing I would say is that they need to marshal it a bit better. So they need to have more people on the ground in the stadiums, more stewards keeping an eye on these people. And to see someone falling around drunk or that's not feeling too well, it's like, just get them out there, get them out of the stadium to wherever, whether it be a room or somewhere where they can just be themselves and not be a nuisance to everyone else around them. Or just escort them out of the stadium completely. But I think that's what's probably needed here, because it's the same kind of thing as the fan getting onto the field. How does it happen in this day and age when we should have more stewards and authorities around there to stop this happening? So I think that needs to be brought in a bit more, where we actually are looking after the people who are actually enjoying the rugby a bit better, and not having these people kind of spoil people's days and games, etc.
Do you think alcohol-free zones could work quite well? So it's like kids areas or something, or even earlier kickoffs? The danger if you get to a 6 o'clock kickoff and everyone's been on the town since 11. Personally, I quite enjoy an evening kickoff as a spectator. I think the atmosphere is electric and it is great. I think these are isolated instances.
Yeah, they are. And yet, no to all those things that you've just suggested. I just think put more people in the stadium to manage these people a bit better, and we're laughing again. Everything will be fine. We're changing rugby enough as it is. Like, the last thing we want to do is make the fans, have less crack on the day, or less fun on the day, and less drink on the day. That's what the match day experience is about. And 95% of the time, everyone's very respectful of that.
Well, now it's time for part 2 of Bomb Chatting with the Beast.
You went to America.
Yes.
Obviously wasn't ideal with COVID coming in, but how did you enjoy it? Were you fully embraced it? Did you, would you see yourself living out there a little bit longer?
I was enjoying my time in the US, so I went to go play for a team in Washington, D.C., a team called Old Glory.
Did you play any games there?
Yes, I played 3 games.
Did you, how do I word this without being really disrespectful to the props you were playing against? Did you go full out against them? Because let's be fair, some of these tight heads wouldn't have played against someone 117 capped Springbok World Cup winner who's a renowned scrummager. You could cause some serious damage if you needed to. Did you go full out?
I think in the beginning, probably not, because I wasn't fully match fit, so I literally landed the day before my first game. I had some visa issues. My US visa took a long time to come out. So it was crazy, straight off a plane and onto the field. I was jet lagged. I was jet lagged and I played 76 minutes. So, I was playing more for mentoring role, mentorship role to the young props and everything. So it wasn't really about me destroying the tight end in front of me. It was more like, hey.
He must have been petrified. We saw that you met up with Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
Was that good? What was that like?
No, so I met him at the Staples Center in LA. Courtside, man. all the stars were there.
Yeah.
You know, Adele, Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne, Kevin Hart. I was like, what is this, man?
You?
All in one building.
That's amazing. These guys have told me they're a big WWE fan. Is this?
I am. I guess probably more when I was still a kid.
Yeah. Well, what era were you? So I was sort of Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, nice.
I was loved that. When he beat him in WrestleMania, it was like the best ever. Anyway, so
The Rock was
Yeah.
my guy. Like, The Rock is super cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be The Rock, and I even tried to do the whole, eye thing, yeah,
he's doing it right for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done incredibly well,
Would you go into wrestling, given the chance?
I almost did.
Did you?
Yeah. When I got back, one of the WWE agents organized a interaction with Kofi Kingston,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's from Africa, so I did an interaction with him on Instagram, and people went mad.
Wow.
And he asked me whether I want to come, and I said, no, I can definitely come and do a stint. But I wasn't looking like long term, just like something fun, like showing up. And
What would your outfit be?
I'm definitely not wearing the trunks, the speedos. No, I'm wearing like a full body kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, look, mate, Beast, it's been great to speak to you. I haven't seen you for a long time. Well, outside Tiger.
exactly.
Mate, carry on doing the amazing work you're doing, and make sure you take me for that. Was it a kilogram steak?
Kilogram steak
In Circus next time in Durban.
No, I will definitely. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me, man.
No, thanks for
Great
that, man.
chat.
Cheers, bud.
What a guy he is, and I'm sure he's going to have a wonderful time in retirement. Your favourite time, Shawnee? It's time for Good Week, Bad Week. And this week's Good Week goes to Arthur Cripps. He's from Manchester. He has a congenital heart condition which has limited him from participating in contact sport. His sports teacher, though, at Cheddar Hume School, has created an alternative curriculum to allow him to safely learn and develop refereeing skills so he can oversee games at his school. It's a great story, and we wish Arthur all the best.
It's unbelievable, to be fair. And fair play to the teacher and the school for facilitating the whole thing.
Oh, it's brilliant. I think
Brilliant to have a young fella like that.
One, make sure that he can still participate and be involved is great from the teacher and the school, and then for him, it just must be brilliant. So, congratulations. And to Super Kevin Sinfield, he's just unbelievable what he's doing, raising money for MND, for Doddy Weir and for Rob Burrows. He's just a hero for what he's done already, but even more so now, hey?
He is incredible, to be fair. I was following on social media his marathons, but this is another incredible thing that's been done by him, and fair play to him.
We come on to you, Shawnee, and who's getting this week's Bad Week?
Bad week this week goes to Jamal from Gloucester Rugby Club, getting his nose put back into place. Pretty
Does he get back in place?
not really, it's still a bit dented, but kind of funny to watch, to be fair.
Have you had broken your nose and had that before?
I think I did break my nose a few weeks ago, like
Thick.
as in 8 weeks ago now, and I remember I still have a little bit of a dent in it here inside it, but not like his, so maybe I only gave it a bit of a crack.
And Shawnee, who's in the sin bin for you?
Sin bin this week goes to a few of the All Black boys after their loss to France,
Okay.
putting up a TikTok of themselves dancing. So
It's been a long tour, mate. Come on.
yeah, it's been a long tour, but they're after losing 2 in a row now, and still in pretty good form by the looks of it. Like I like this kind of stuff, to be fair, and I like the way they're so like shoot the breeze, the Kiwi boys, and
I mean, you did say that you thought you could be on Strictly, so you should, be
yeah. Well,
impressed with
this
the dance.
I just think it's probably not the right time for them to do it after a loss like that, and
Not for you.
not for me anyway. Personally, not for me.
So it's goodbye from us. A big thank you to Bomb and for the Beast for coming on, and for Shawnee for holding my hand through this show. This has been the House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe.